obviously the Lions shook some ground, right, especially with their top pick. Very controversial here in Detroit. Had the fan base really like up in arms. Let's go down the list. Like, let's start at pick 12. Trading out of 6. And going Jahmyr Gibbs with the running back out of Alabama. I think. I like that Gibbs down there, Alabama.
I like that Alabama.
I think the player, you can argue about the spot, but I think it's an electrifying player, and I think he's going to do really great things here in Detroit. So out of 5 stars, how many stars do you give it? Let's just toss it around, B. What do you think?
I think it would have been there maybe a little later round, but they keep saying they keep putting him in that category of an Alvin Kamara type running back. I mean, he's 5'9", 199 pounds, quick, very good speed, good hands, almost could be used as a receiver.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's not a bad pick. I really didn't see that coming, Philly.
Yeah,
not for our first pick. To trade out of number 6, I know their guy wasn't there. I think they may have hit the panic button a little bit on, like, let's just trade out of this and, move around. I give it a 4-star.
Okay.
Again, a lot of these drafts are 50% of these guys never really do much after, it's a hit or miss, but I like his style. I mean, he's built like a brick shit house. I mean, he's a good player, man.
It was definitely shocking, right? But like you said, he wouldn't have been there in the second round. I think the Jets and the Patriots both wanted him. I mean, you talk about a 2022 AP third-team All-American, second-team All-SEC, year before first-team All-SEC. And he's highly graded in pro fantasy football, receiving grade, 92.6, rushed for over 2,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. Electrifying player. Caught 103 passes for over 1,200 yards. So that's a guy, it's a weapon that he's going to be used in Ben Johnson's offense. You knew the writing was on the wall for Swift, right? And we got him out of town. He came out and said it was kind of shocking. Value-wise, I think it would have been smart to hang on to Swift, but you get a younger guy, 3 years younger, and another piece to add to the puzzle. And the old rule of thumb in football is finish the side of the ball that you're closest to being complete. I think that's what they're doing. That was the mindset. I do agree with you on this, though, B, that once Witherspoon was taken to pick before to Seattle, that's when they decided to pull the plug and trade back. So, Hollywood, what do you think about the pick?
Now, on them stats, were that his career? I mean, like...
Yeah, that was in totality. Okay. You got to remember, he was with another school and transferred to Alabama.
Yes. How many years he was in Alabama?
I want to say just 1 or 2.
And his numbers at Alabama?
Altogether.
Yeah, he was at Georgia Tech.
Yes.
He gained like almost 2,000 yards at Georgia Tech.
Very good school.
Yeah. Then he went to Alabama. Roll Tide.
Alabama.
We've talked about this. Gibbs was on my board. Just not at 12. I thought that we overreached for that, especially when, my heart was kind of set on it. Carter was there. And then we jumped out of the 6th spot. Was like, okay, well, now there's a reason. Why ain't we taking him? Why didn't Seattle take him? You know what I mean? Like, okay, who's this big guy going to be? Well, I thought that either at that point, we were going to go with maybe Gonzalez, another corner. But then again, with all the defensive backs that we got, it's like, okay, well, who's going to start now? You just signed Mosley. Okay? So then that kicks it back to like going, well, maybe this does make sense. You know what I mean? I thought it was early. Kalia Cansey we had there, but he played for Pitt. Sucky team. Defensive tackle. Is that what you wanted so bad? Or did you say, well, we always got free agency. Our guy's really not there. I know that this kid's going to possibly go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we will not get him.
Well, let's talk about the Jalen Carter thing for a minute, because we had a conversation about it. And, I agree with some of the things I heard on the radio about, okay, this is the second youngest team in the NFL, right? And you're bringing in Jalen Carter, who obviously has some issues, you know what I mean? But also is a stud and has the potential to be a superstar. So that's kind of what not just you, but 8 other teams passed up on. Now he goes to Philly, who's got a veteran locker room. They have Jordan Davis. They have Brandon Graham. They have Fletcher Cox. These are guys that can mold him into being a professional. So with that being said, I think that makes more sense. And when you're placing that high value on a young athlete, you got to do all your homework and do what's right. And I just feel like you saw the reaction from Campbell and Holmes. They
were
absolutely,
ecstatic.
they love this pick. They love the player. And I think he fits. I really do what they're trying to do. The shock value, yeah, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to give it a 4-star. But like after you see the other picks that they made, when you look at it in its totality, you're like, okay, I can see the pieces now. It makes sense. That's why I made the joke on Facebook. I was like, yeah, they're like, F it, man. They're just going to try to score 60 a game. Screw
Got a
the
lot,
defense.
a lot of hits on
that was.
Brad Holmes shirt.
Do you think he could have possibly slid down to 18, or you think he would have been gone?
I think someone was going to grab him because he is that electrifying player, that hybrid weapon out of the backfield. He can be. You can have Singletary and him on the field at the same time. You know, Singletary in the background or the backfield, him in the slot. You can motion him out. You can do all types of things. And now you got a hefty 1-2 punch with, Reynolds and Jefferson, maybe a little drop off from Swift, right? But you still got 2 really good backs now that you can go to work with.
Yeah, and with what's his name, Swift, didn't know. But could you see this too? Because this was left on the board. A Miles Murphy at 12. And then if Gibbs is not there, you come back with Quentin Johnson at 18. Now you got your defense and a stud receiver. You know what I'm saying? 2 studs. 2. Even though them guys were on my board, like I said, I just thought that Campbell, maybe he wouldn't have made it out of the first. I don't know. I was thinking that 34th pick.
Was it New England? Was it the Patriots that were looking at him too?
Patriots and Jets, from what I've read and heard.
Yeah, and they kind of traded back and forth.
They were right in front of us.
Yeah, so I think New England may have been targeting.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a gamble, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I get it, but you talk about Miles Murphy. He didn't go until like almost the end of the first round. So some of these, I think we as fans, we fall in love with names at times.
You're right.
And we look at all these guys that put out these mock drafts. And again, like, I love them and hate them at the same time because I feel like it's almost misleading information. And listen, I'm a more pro guy than college guy. I knew a lot of those first round guys, and you watch their film and watch their games, and that's kind of what sticks to you. So a lot of it made sense. Some of it didn't. The running back, yes, was shocking, but it's a player I could totally see in Honolulu Blue going crazy.
I'm gonna give it. Like I said, it wasn't my projected pick there, but because of the player who he is,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 4+ star.
Okay, I think that's fair because I kind of like Brad Holmes' style. I wasn't crazy about this first pick at first, but then day 2, we'll get into that.
Yes.
That was a turning point for me to realize he wasn't going for necessarily the best player. He was going for what they need now. And they did Swift justice by letting him go back home.
Yeah.
Philly's
hometown.
where he's from. So, I mean, they kind of gave him a nice little parachute to say, hey, man, off you go. But I don't think that hurt him at all.
No, good point. And so they followed that up with Jack Campbell, who I feel like is a guy that could be in the middle of your defense for the next 10 years. I think this guy, he's 6'5", 230 plus.
I love the guy. I love Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
I just didn't know at the 18th pick, but maybe he's gone by 29.
Bro, he's
And we don't
a
get him.
throwback though.
Yes.
He's kind of like your Urlacher. He's the run stuffer. He's
Yes.
not that that hybrid guy. He's
No.
that big body. What is he? 6'5", Philly?
Yeah,
Yes.
6'5" plus, like I said, 230 plus.
He's a beast.
So maybe he's like, dude, this guy's not going to make it out of the first, and we definitely will not have a chance at 34. This kid is that special of a kid where he'll be gone. So if we don't get it now, we're kicking our ass. And guess what? Now we got to go to a 2-tier because why didn't Nolan Smith from Georgia?
Yeah.
They passed on him. It's like
That's right.
he's not him. Drew Sanders, he was still there.
But see, it's like you can't knock Anzalone, but then not expect him to do something about that. Now you got a young guy that he can groom behind him.
There you
know what I
go.
mean? You got
Yeah.
a 22 Dick Butkus Award winner, 2-time first team All Big Ten, back-to-back years.
And that's tough.
22
Yeah.
Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. William V. Campbell Trophy winner in 22.
Wow.
Almost 300 total tackles, 12.5 for loss, 5 career interceptions.
That's pretty solid.
big.
That's solid college career right there, man.
And they say the knock is, when he drops back into coverage, is he that guy? But you got a big body in the middle. It's tough to throw over, drop
And
him
what
in
you got
those
behind
turkey
you
holes
coming
and
up.
whatnot. You know what I mean?
What have you?
What have you? With that being said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, the numbers were, but once again, we're not there. We didn't see the combines. We didn't do all the testing and all this, and going, wow, man, they just stand out above them all.
Yeah.
Which we think, well, these guys, that's not what we see here.
Well, we talked about Sanders and Nolan Smith, but they're more outside guys.
Yes.
Whereas this guy's going to be right in that middle. Now you can rotate him and Anzalone, move Malcolm Rodriguez to the outside, and you still got James Houston, Aquara coming back healthy. And that's the biggest thing on why they didn't go defensive line early, is because I really think they love their guys on board right now.
Yeah.
If they come back healthy,
Yeah.
it's a formidable line. The
Now,
key
is
staying
Levi
healthy.
gone? Is he gone?
No, he's back and he's doing OTAs and all this stuff.
He was
Nice.
75, wasn't he?
Yes.
Because his number's gone.
Maybe he changed it. A lot of people changed it this season.
Yeah, but when I seen it on the thing, it didn't have his name down, but his number was something else. He didn't have a number. His name wasn't even on there.
Unless something happened like just recently, he's there. Because
Yeah.
I was just listening on the radio and they were talking about him being back and being involved, and like him and Vaitai working out with the team
Yeah,
and
because
stuff.
what's his name got number 1 and J-Mo didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Sutton.
Sutton.
Give it to the veteran.
Yeah.
Well deserved. J-Mo, you got to get your shit together.
Yeah, you're right.
J-Mo.
So another kind of shocking one, but we all thought this was going to be addressed at some point in the draft, was Sam Laporta out of Iowa. For some reason, we love Iowa tight ends, right?
Yeah.
With Hawkinson, but this was better value in the second round. You got a receiving tight end. You address a need. I mean, that's debatable, right? Because they did a good job with the 3 guys that they had. And I think you got to just trust Ben Johnson in this offense to get the best out of him. Put him in positions to catch the ball downfield, pick up first downs, things like that. And I think Brock Wright, Zylstra, James Mitchell, all those guys will have a role. Those guys are more, I would say, besides Zylstra, I think those other guys are blocking guys. So I think in their scheme, I think it fits. What do you guys think about that one?
He's a good ball player. I mean, I thought there's this kid you mentioned from Notre Dame, the tight end, right?
Michael Mayers.
They say that this guy that we picked up here is got better hands. He's more like a Kelsey type. He's a good blocker.
Yeah.
Yes.
The other kid had the speed and he had, the hands, but he didn't have the blocking ability.
He just looks like a football player without the uniform on. He looks like that gritty, nasty tight end that's just going to stick his arm in your face and knock you down and walk all over you.
Hey, what was his stats, Philly, over there?
I mean, another first team All Big Ten in 22. Qualic Clark Tight End of the Year. Mackey Award finalist, Iowa Offensive Team MVP, 3rd team All Big Ten. So another, a kid that's done a good job in college on a kind of a shitty team. So body type, fit, I think that's what Holmes Campbell were going for in this draft. Guys that fit their mold and their team, because they're ready to win now. Our window has opened up earlier than expected, so it's go time. Like, it's time to go.
Because you had Luke Musgrave, too.
Yeah,
From
I think
Oregon.
He went to
and
Green
he's a
Bay.
hell of a tight end. So they had to see to put him that high over them 2 guys, and even Branch being behind him.
Right,
Like,
right.
we go get Branch here, we may lose Laporta here. We're not going to get him.
Now, don't you think it would change minds had Branch gone before Laporta? Because Branch, I think, was the steal of the draft. I really do when
Yeah,
they got him. Because everybody had him in the first round.
I think just that little bit of move may have, and just like with the other ones we talked about.
Yeah.
But you got your guys. You got 4 starters, man.
Hey, he's right.
Indeed.
I think they got the plug and play guys that they were looking for.
And that's key.
Yeah, and moving on, I mean, this is my favorite pick of the draft. I mean, Branch out of Alabama. Alabama.
That's not right there.
It's like a Swiss Army knife on the defense. He could do it all. Line up
Yeah.
in the slot, go outside, physical, can come up and tackle. Nick Saban guy. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be in a great spot to learn from Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, man. So another one, second team AP All-American, 2020 college football playoff national champion, 89.5 overall grade, and he had a 68-yard punt return TD this past season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he was a steal.
Yeah.
I really do.
Again, he was on everybody's big board in the first round, and they must know stuff that we don't. Obviously, they're professionals. They're working that stuff year-round, right? So, again, we fall in love with mock drafts and things like that. So they knew something. Maybe he dropped for a reason, but for me, that's just great value there, and he's going to be a key contributor on defense. Another DB to get in the fold. So now you have Walker, Joseph, Gardner Johnson, Sutton, Mosley, Jerry Jacobs coming back. I mean, now all of a sudden that defense is looking pretty solid. If not solid, much better, much improved, I would say.
I like the program he was into. That's a solid program right there. So, I mean, you get these guys that are coming in from these colleges that are known to produce good championships.
Branches won national championships.
They won't accept mediocrity. They know that what it feels to win.
To win, yeah.
They don't want to come here and play dead.
And that could be a key too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, we're breeded to, we're turning this around.
Yeah,
we know how to win.
We don't normally draft from those kind of schools.
Yes,
we always go for the goofball picks or something.
I say the Branch is that's a 5-star all day long.
I'll give it a 5.
I like that too.
5-star.
5-star.
So we got our backup quarterback, possibly, quarterback of the future in Hendon Hooker.
Do you think so? Really? I mean, do you really believe that he can take this team at some point? Because you left this on the board after you got Hooker. You had Brian Young, defensive tackle from Alabama. You had Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver from Tennessee, stud. You also had Brian Young, DN from Tennessee, and Josh Downs from North Carolina, wide receiver. What do you think?
I'm okay with it here because I think he goes in the next few picks there. Someone that would have taken him. You look at 22 SEC Offensive Player of the Year, first team All-SEC, third team All-American, Tennessee school record for career completion percentage at over 68%, almost 9,000 career passing yards, 80 touchdown passes, fifth in the Heisman Trophy voting. He doesn't get hurt, man. I think he goes in the first round.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He's got a cannon of an arm. He's mobile. Yeah, you can see he gets a little pickled in the pocket at times, but most young running quarterbacks do. But this kid can wing it too.
6'3", 217.
Good
Nice size.
He
Good
can
size.
sling the ball.
Right.
I mean, you watch. I mean, he can go over the top of these guys. He's got that arc. He's a good quarterback.
And let's face it, ACLs aren't what they used to be. Like back in the 80s and 90s. Like nowadays, like guys come back a lot quicker. And especially at the quarterback position, as long as he has his velocity, and he's well enough to take hits, I think he's going to be all right.
Do you think that he'll push for number 2?
Oh, I think he's a sure fit number 2. And once he's 100% healthy,
Sudfeld taking the back seat.
Sudfeld right now, probably going into the season, he's probably your backup, probably the first quarter of the season. But I see once he's healthy, Hooker's that guy. I think he's that dude that could come in and, run the offense. And once he gets acclimated, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I would just hate to see, he gets that, you pick this guy here, and then golf goes down, and we got Sudfeld. Mm-hmm. He's hurt. He can't play. Hooker can't play. Like, you wasted a pick on this quarterback hoping. Now what happens, all right, you got this quarterback, and then golf has a great year. Now he wants a 4-year deal, which you're already talking about.
Yeah.
You're willing to pay this guy $200 million over 4 years, and you got Hooker?
Like you said, though, it could be bait.
Yes.
It gives you insurance. You got a young, talented kid that doesn't have to rush in there and play right away. Mm-hmm. Rodgers has done it.
Yep.
Multiple quarterbacks have done it. They've sat the bench, learned the game. Mahomes did it for a couple years with Alex Smith. So, jury's still out. We're going to have to see it. Holmes said as much. It's not a pick for now. That is a pick for the future.
Yeah,
that's right.
And how long have we been earning for a developmental quarterback? Now we have one.
I believe that's a 5-star, but this question, and say he does throw up decent numbers, good numbers. Maybe let's just say 34-9, 11 wins. He comes to the table. You willing to pay this guy $50 million a year for 4 years and strap your team?
You're talking about Goff now.
Goff. Would you do it?
I think right now, as the table sets as it is, I think you do. Because I think the longer you wait, you're only going to have to pay him more money. Who's to say it's going to be $50 million? I think right now he's getting around like 25 to 30. I could be a little bit off on those numbers, but that's like ballpark. I don't know if he's going to demand 50 like Lamar Jackson. He's not going to get that.
Yeah, but if he goes, and let's just say he gets us to the Super Bowl. Now he's got weight.
Pays the men this money.
Pay them in fucking...
Fat and scrap.
I don't think he'd be that type of guy, but you never know. Get paid now. Because guess what? Now, what I'm saying, now you got all these other contracts. You want to keep these guys, but you got to think, we can't pay you now. So now we start all over again, but we're locked in for a quarterback.
Not necessarily, though, because once you build that team and you got influx of talent, right? Look at Kansas City. They're able to stay consistent because they got a constant flux of players coming through there and paying Mahomes top dollar.
Just like New England did that for years.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Brady only was making like around 20-ish because he wanted to do what's best for the team. I get it. Not everybody's like that. Once you got to strike while the iron's hot, get your money.
Did you know the Commanders wanted to go after Mahomes? And they turned it down and before the draft. They was willing to give up a lot of capital money to go after Mahomes for their quarterback in case he's like, hell no.
Why would they even think it? They would never
Because
do that.
they need a quarterback. They've been through 3 quarterbacks. It's a failure.
That's true.
Yeah.
New ownership, new changes coming.
So I say a 5 on Hooker. I think if he can, in watching him with the knee injury and all that and him saying, this guy could really be something special in here.
I think it's a good situation for him. The talent is there. Now, can he get healthy and get acclimated to the NFL game, the speed, the pace, all those things?
Yes.
All the intangibles are there.
So who's going to be the first one here at the table to get a Hooker jersey?
Oh, I definitely get
Anybody?
I'll give credit to any woman that'll do that.
What's your name? I'm Hooker.
Fucking beast.
Now, we went in the 3rd round, Broderick Martin, you know what I mean, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Was it Wisconsin?
Yeah, you're right. We got it right there.
Yeah, okay. So, not as early as some have wanted, Conference USA honorable mention, 23 East-West Shrine Bowl participant, 62 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks.
He's a big dude.
Western
man.
Kentucky, not Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
He's a big guy, man.
Actually, the kid from Wisconsin is the one I wanted. I forgot his name. That's why I was thinking that.
Joe Hoff.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, this guy right here you're talking about, man. He's a 6'5", 340-pound giant.
Another guy that you can rotate in on that defensive line.
Yes.
Because you already have Buggs. You already have McNeil.
What's up, Doc?
You got guys that you can rotate in now.
And look who was taken 3 picks down. Jake Moody, the kicker. Oh, God. Would you have took him there over Brock Martin?
At 3? I don't know. I think Badgley did all right.
You're talking at number 96.
That's tough for us to take a kicker there.
But you're talking one of the best.
Yeah. I mean, he could boom it, man.
Oh, God. Because we're struggling at 45 yards. In or out.
That's true. I was hoping he would be there. Like, I'd be okay. Like, in the 4th round, I think I'd be okay with it. Had we did what we did and then got a 4th round pick, I would take Moody there. He's by far the best kicker in the draft.
Well, these kickers are becoming a very important part of the roster, fellas.
Yes.
Look how many games are coming down to that last second field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a bad move necessarily.
No,
and he had a great career in Michigan.
I like this Broderick Martin guy, too. I mean, he's a big dude, man.
He's like a space eater. A guy that's going to fill. Aaron Glenn in his defense, he likes guys that can play A and a B gap. You know what I mean? 2 gap players. That's what you want for run stuffers, right?
I'm going to say a 3+ until I see more.
Sure.
I'm gonna say that because I don't know a whole lot about him. I like the size, the agility. So I'll give it a 3+ as of right now.
Okay, fair enough. So moving on to the 5th round, we didn't have a 4th round pick. Brad Holmes, I must say, this is the most active Lions draft I've ever seen. Bar none, this is the most activity in my lifetime. I think it was great. It was exciting. It was different. And he got his guys. He filled all positions of need and got some depth here on the offensive
William and Mary.
Colby Sorsdale.
Sorsdale, Bob. That's
Sorsdale,
him.
Bob.
Great guy, Kobe. Great guy.
46 career starts, team captain, FCS first team All-American, all CAA first team. 0 sacks allowed last season.
Damn.
That's promising.
That's really good. We need anchors like that.
I mean, that's the things we don't know until we see, like, well, who's this guy?
Right, because I mean, you're thinking guard out of William and Mary doesn't tickle your
Guard.
balls.
Yeah,
but,
right,
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Sorry.
it makes sense though, because now you're adding to your strength.
The team captain, the this and the that. That's,
Now you got a Vitae who can play both tackles, and this guy Sorsdale could probably fill in a guard to spell these guys if somebody goes down. You know, so I can see it all making sense in the totality of it again. And then your last pick, Antoine Green out of North Carolina, big, tall, ex-wide receiver. That's kind of what we needed, a guy on the outside, especially with J-Mo going down for the first 6 games. You know, I think that's a plus pick. You know,
Antoine.
I got to see a little bit more, but
I did like that pick.
he averaged 19 yards a catch, which
you
is
go.
great. Third
That's
team
huge.
All ACC.
I did like that.
And he had a big week on 10/31/22. He was named ACC Wide Receiver of the Week. So
Very nice.
that's good stuff there too. Again, good size, good speed. I think he ran like a 4.49 or something like that at the combine.
He's fast.
Very fast.
Another young weapon, man.
Good hands. And I like that. And if that comes up like a Galladay did and all that. But getting back to the Sorsdale, like you said, by what you're telling me and all, you know, all them credentials that he has, and this really takes, now you're talking a fifth starter, which I know he's probably going to be in the back wins right now, but a guy to fill in, because you know how them guys go down.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, man.
And dude, what a perfect, he's a big son of a bitch. And just because of that, with the size and knowing what he's got up in Rag now, class, learning with all them guys, I got to say that's a 5 on that, man. And with the Green receiver, another 5. Brilliant.
I like what they did. Little offense heavy, but again, I can see the mantra here. They're getting tough guys, gritty football players, finishing that offense.
And we still have free agency. Maybe they know something that like, we're going to go after this guy and we're going to pursue this guy. Like the 49ers kicker, Gold. They're going to go after him.
Yeah, and again, at the end of the day, I just really feel like they really like these guys that they have on defense.
Yes.
So if they can all trot out there, you know you're going to have injuries. Guys are going to go down, but they're building depth. And I think they did a lot of that in free agency this year. So
And they're
they
not, I don't think they're done yet, Phil. I still think they're still going to keep plugging and playing with some of these guys.
Next month, you got June 1st cuts. A lot of veterans get released.
Yep.
Guys are going to try to get right for the cap. Teams are going to make moves. So it's far from over.
Can you see getting like a veteran here? Get maybe a D tackle, like, you know, another veteran, like we got Bugs, like coming here.
I could see something like that. Yeah, making a move. Again, in season, don't put it past them. They can make a splash move later in the season.
He's done it so far. This guy's done that we've ever had, I know, in my lifetime, of going back and having so much control in the moves that he's made. Kind of remind me like the Belichick thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me move out of this. I got 2 more. Let me,
Yeah.
and then package it up in like they were, all the big talk was Swift's going. Where's he going? We're waiting round after round. All of a sudden, bam.
Gibbs.
It happens.
Boom.
Holy crap.
He really did jar the draft board.
You say jar?
He jarred
You say
it.
jar.
When he went for the tight end, then all of a sudden you seen rotation starting to take place. Like, oh shit, we better start. Then the next guy was a tight end.
Yeah, this guy's going to hang around Swift for, 1 year.
They
No,
just-
he was gone.
People
Gone,
started
just
looking
like
at
that.
different spots. What I liked about the draft is he knew what he needed to get. And I don't think anybody's seen that because, like you said, all these mock drafts, I think Mel Kiper got one right.
Yeah.
And they look at him as the expert. Right? He studies, like, they got all these months to study these players, and those mock drafts weren't worth the shit.
And who would have done that, though? You think about it, right? You got Swift, you got Montgomery. But look at it over the last 4 years, what we've been dealing with. Hurt, comes back, does good, he flashes. He's hurt again, his toe, his foot. Okay. And, Staley said the same thing. Dude, you at 80% are better than some guys at 100. You have to step your game. You have to fight through injuries at times. And we all seen he'd go get the run, maybe he'd get down like that because he didn't want to get hit. And being hurt like that, okay, I can understand it. Yeah, another hit like that, I may be out again. It's frustrating. We never got the full potential of him for 16 games.
Yeah, and
That's
I apologize. I had one of your Larry Donaldson moments. I called him single
man.
terrier. I meant to say Montgomery. My bad.
It's like Jim Campbell. We all have had our moments, Philly.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
That's my boy.
So
Jim
what do you
Campbell,
guys-
Larry
what do you-
Donaldson don't matter.
What do you guys grade it? What do you grade this draft here?
Overall, I got to say, a solid B, maybe a B plus.
Yeah, I would say B plus.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm with you guys.
I loved it.
Definitely in that category. I don't think they hit the A because they didn't get quite that one guy they wanted, you know. But I just like what Holmes is doing. Like you said, I've never seen GMs
No.
like this that are just
And guys
taking
that want to
chances.
play here. Did you see them guys? They was never like, oh shit, man.
Yeah, I'm going to
They
Detroit.
were happy, man. Like, yeah, we can't wait to get to work, man. Let's get this going.
And I think it's okay, like if guys are pissed at where they got taken because they believe in themselves and they should have been taken earlier, and that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
now you're gonna play with a little chip on your shoulder. It gives you a little oomph to go out there week to week and earn your keep, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show.
So I'm with it. So that does it for our Lions draft recap. Now, I do got to bring this up because it was crazy. The Boston Bruins this year had a hell of a season. Most wins, I believe, ever in the regular season. They got bounced by the Florida Panthers.
Number 1 seed, weren't they, Philly?
In Game 7
In overtime.
in overtime.
You'd say they shit the bed.
They should the punts. The bloody punts.
The hockey has been phenomenal. I love playoff hockey.
That's one sport where everything is just amplified.
Yes.
You know, in the playoffs, it's great. It's a great watch. So who do you guys like now? So I'll break down the bracket for you real quick. You got the Seattle Kraken, who's a 7 seed, at the Dallas Stars.
Stars.
You got the Vegas Golden Knights at the Edmonton Oilers. I'm sorry, vice versa there. And you got the Panthers and Maple Leafs, Hurricanes, and New Jersey Devils. Who do you guys like?
I've always liked them New Jersey Devils, but I also like that Vegas Knights.
They're a good team. They're the
Yeah.
1 seed too.
I like them, what they've put together over there. But, you know, let's go back. Let's talk about Detroit. When Detroit won them 62 games and they got in there against the Devils and got their ass whipped because they put everything in getting that number 1 seed and winning all them games. And when they got there, they just didn't have enough anymore. You know what I mean? You're
yeah.
worn out.
Yeah, that time. I mean, you're playing deep into the season, year in, year out. It's tough on those guys.
Just get in. Anything happens when you're in. Just
Absolutely.
get in. Look, we've seen that with basketball. You know, with the Bucks, an 8 seed takes you out.
Right,
For
right.
1. Hello.
That's what I was going to bring up next. Let's talk basketball
Yeah.
playoffs because they're heating up too. We got 8 teams left right now. You got the Nuggets and the Suns. You got the Warriors and the Lakers. You got Sixers and Celtics, and you got the Heat who took down the Bucks, and the New York Knicks. Who do you like?
Oh, man, I like that Heat team with Butler, man. I really do.
As an 8 seed, can you see them going all the way?
It could happen. 1 game at a time. You know what I mean? 1 game at a time. But I like Philly too, though, man. With Harden, oh my God, I like that team. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at Boston here too.
You saying
Yeah, I
Boston?
like
Boston. They parked the car down by the harbor.
The harbor.
Guys in Boston.
Cabsy. And don't sleep on the Warriors too. They tend to get hot in the playoffs. Brez.
Stuff. Curry.
Be right back, gentlemen.
All right.
Damn you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that line.
I know, Philly, one of the things I really, going back to the draft for a second here, man. Did you, this kid that introduced the Jets, he was Make-A-Wish thing. Did you hear this kid that did the, I got the soundbite. You want to hear it?
With the 15th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Will McDonald, linebacker, Iowa State. Let's go! Yeah! Let's go!
How pumped up was that kid, man?
That's Stickles. His name was Stickles, man.
What?
I love Stickles.
That was his last name Stickles?
Yeah, Stickles.
Stickles the Pickles. We got to
I
get
don't
him
know
on the
his-
show.
I don't know his first name, but yeah, his last name was Stickles.
Yeah,
We were cracking up at that.
It was awesome because
Damn you, Stickles. Damn you.
I was watching that and I was like, that kid is pumped up. But then I understood the backstory. It was from the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
You know, this kid's gone through a lot in his life.
You
And
see that? That was sad.
I just played that soundbite, Hollywood. It was just, yeah, it was great, man. I love that.
Yeah,
So
it brought tears to my eyes to
Yes.
see, how he was and where he was at. It's so hyped up and excited to just be there. It was awesome.
yeah, and the fact that I love how the NFL, I know it's such a big business, but they had the veterans come on in round 2.
Yes.
They had some of these, Vietnam veterans coming on
Yes.
and talking about their draft pick for their team. And it was just special how, I don't understand why Roger Goodell gets booed when he gets up there. Is that just kind of like,
I think it's just the thing that's like the anti-establishment shit. People just want to boo the commissioner of every, league.
Right. And like when he came out and he thanked the people of Kansas City, he goes, Kansas City, great job for the draft. And they were like, boo. He's like, what are you, booing yourselves? I just like how he handles it very candidly like that. But we get the draft next year, guys. It is going to be right here in Detroit.
I'm going to be down there, baby.
And it is going to be lightning. It's going to be fire, right? It's going to be huge.
Where's the draft going to be?
Down at Campus Martius.
Okay.
That's where they're going to put the big stage.
Nice.
They're going to take that whole downtown and encompass that in for the big draft right there. So set the stage up. I don't know where, but that's where I understand it's going to be. It's not going to be inside of Ford Field. It's going to be outside. It's going to be one big tent. You see how much they put into these things now.
Yeah. It's a spectacle, and it's a good chance for Detroit to showcase what we're all about.
Yes.
Just have a good time, treat outsiders well, show them how we get down. We like to party, we like to have a good time.
And you're supposed to mask a lot of things down there too, as well. Mask, you know what I mean, making it look.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Yeah,
remember what we did for the Super Bowl? It's been a hot minute since we've had anything that big in our city, but. This draft has taken on a mind of its own. I remember back in the day where, it would just be a simple, you'd have to have, ESPN, or you just have to, now it's like on major networks. There's
right.
They're on different channels, and it's just crazy. But I think it's going to be really cool. But man, there's a lot of people there.
A lot.
Day two kind of thinned out.
Kids though, when you seen that, like the guy holding his little baby up, what do you think about that?
Yeah,
kids being down there.
I think it's cool, as long as they're not exposed to nothing crazy. You're going to have a few drinks or whatever. Does everybody get home safe? Just, I don't know.
Yeah, and you hope, because, there's some ignorant people.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Now you got this child, day one or to say to day three. I'm thinking maybe day three when things start feathering out a little bit. You know what I mean? Day one, I just think would be crazy to have children down there.
Yeah, I think it will be pretty wild downtown day one.
Everything's sold out. There's the hotels, even in Canada, they're sold out already. So imagine we got a lot of press coming in. There's going to be a lot of people coming in from all over the world, right?
Yes, yep.
People that are coming from other countries. Let's face it, there's people that play in the NFL that aren't just, from America.
Sure.
So you got all this press coming in. It'll be a lot of fun.
Got to get it right.
Yeah.
Got to get it right. We can't have no mishaps on this.
Absolutely.
Or we'll never get it back there.
No doubt.
But I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's just weird how fast football comes and goes. Like as soon as the season's over, man, we're within weeks we're already talking about it. We're talking 4 months, guys.
I know it.
We got to get through summer yet. We
want to see this put together. We want to see this be like, wow, it's finally done. Not piece by little piece, just organized in 1 year. What they've went out and established. 11 or 12 players.
Is the target on Detroit's back, which is weird because we always talk about Green Bay or Minnesota or possibly Chicago, but everybody's got Detroit as the front runner right now. Division, leaders.
And you haven't heard that in how long?
Oh, dude, since like the Barry Sanders era. Going back to the early 90s, mid 90s, like you said, it's the first time in our lifetime that I can see a GM that's going, wow, I don't quite understand. But maybe you now see what he's trying to do.
Sure.
And out of Vegas as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vegas got the odds on 20-1 right now.
Yeah, a lot of money on Detroit.
I mean, we closed the season out in style, but man, I'll tell you what, they really mainstream media's got a high expectation for this team right now, as well as the fans, because I think you're realizing more now than ever. There's a lot of these bandwagoners that just all go for the Lions now, man. This is it,
the Ford girl, I thank her.
Love it, man.
I thank her for changing your aspect from your father. Given a chance, and you've seen how big Campbell's turned, not only just a player, but into a coach now.
Yeah.
He is like the messiah, man, of that Detroit team.
Yeah.
And, Sheila Ford, just go get me what I need. Get the guys, do what you need. And it was cool to see her in that room. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's just standing over her little friend, just tiny little bit,
But what is Rod Wood doing in there though? What the fuck does he got to be in there for? He's the bean counter, man. Like, what's he? Get him out of there. You don't need him.
I don't like seeing
It's
that
time to
dude.
sign these guys. Go sit in a corner
Yeah,
and
I just
check
don't-
check the
I don't
accountant's books.
Yeah.
You know, I could
He's
get
like,
with the owner.
Now, guys, can we fit this under the cap? Is this the right fit?
He's whispering in their ears, going, "No, I think that might be a little bit too much money. Let's go for someone a little bit cheaper." Like, go cheer. He's been the financial advisor for the Fords for 30 years.
And Holmes is like, this asshole's getting traded anyways. He has no idea.
Right. Holmes be like, "Sit your white ass down, boy."
I could see him literally running everything. If this really takes off, I mean, I could see Holmes being a bigger part of that organization than what he is.
I still think the verdict is out there. I think what we're seeing right now is this taste of success, knowing how they finished the season. And the players love playing for Dan Campbell.
You think Spielman had a little something to do with that Campbell pick too?
Oh, I think so. He's a
Throwback?
Spielman throwback.
Yes, absolutely. Hollywood. Yes,
And he was there, too.
That's
He
the
was in that
style
chair.
of backer he was.
He's quietly in the background, but he's got an influence because he's a guy that's been in
Absolutely.
the trenches, played the game, played for the organization, loves the city.
And that's what I thought. When that came, I'm like, Spielman had to say, this fucking kid is like, you're not going to get guys like this, but every now and then, hard-nosed, hard-knocks person. You know what I mean? Like,
What's nice is we're getting all the players together. It's what you go back to your Sheila Ford thing. When she took over, the chemistry started changing. Calvin Johnson came back. Mm-hmm. Now be part of your organization. Now something changed. They made right with the wrong with him.
yes.
You see Barry Sanders. You see Chris Spielman. I mean, you start to see all these people that we remembered as like, those were our greats. Because we didn't have Super Bowls and a lot of playoffs, but we had people that we could look to and go, man, I loved watching that guy play.
And I
but
think
they're all on the same page now.
Right.
And I think them guys hurt burying them. Like, we would love to play for this guy. And look what we were delivered. You know what I mean? Part of the time. We went through these hard struggles like this. We were promised things that were never given to us. You know what I mean? And she's like, well, come on. You guys can still be a part of this.
Yeah.
And that's where you see the relationships are. Because Calvin didn't want to have shit to do with Detroit.
No, I'm glad they mended those fences, but they can be a part of it now.
Yes.
In a different way. And you can just see that they're happy to be back in the fold.
They
and
never
being
wanted
around
to
it.
not be, like
Do you see
Calvin,
maybe
he's
one of them
just
guys
ass-strapped,
coaching?
not getting that money.
You see maybe Calvin being a wide receivers coach there? Maybe Barry steps.
We got Dre Bly. I mean,
You never know.
I mean, it's like sometimes you look at the guys that you just watch play what seems like yesterday, all of a sudden becoming older in age, like Calvin Johnson could offer a lot to a receiving core.
God,
But
man.
here's the thing, man. With all the hype, we got to go out and execute it now. We got
yes,
to go ahead
absolutely.
and do it.
Absolutely.
All these
dude.
accolades and hype and mainstream hype finally is great, but let's go out there and just win this division, win your freaking first playoff game in however many years, and get the job done, man. Let's go. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Be consistent, like Stickles said.
Stickles.
Just think about the beginning of last season, how it just went to like that same old Lions. And then out of nowhere, there was grass growing out of the dirt. And then there was beautiful grass, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, what switch did they flip? And we were not ready for that.
That's what makes you
but
believe
he made
this
it believe.
is so different, because most Lions teams in the past would have just folded, whimpered, and limped out of the season. They came back full tilt, man. Like, it was complete change, like you said, light switch. And this was a totally different team. And that takes a hell of a locker room. Kudos to the coaches and the players, because, man, the resolve they showed was awesome.
Phenomenal.
I mean, don't be surprised if they don't come out of the gate just a little stumble and people go, oh, geez, to get it together. You know what I mean? To understand.
Well, because
hey,
every year's a new team, right?
yes. Like, this guy's got my back. Okay, we're getting this chemistry built. 4 games just wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Or scrimmage or 3, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they just go on a streak. They got them projected to go 6-2 right out the gate.
Right.
So,
Do you remember at the end of Hard Knocks last year, Coach Campbell was sitting there with the camera on him. They had that close up. Tell us about who the Detroit Lions are for 2022 Detroit Lions are. Campbell's just had that long pause. The team that will and can. Mm-hmm. And did it not happen towards the end of the season? The strong get strong when the times are tough. That's what I liked about this. to Philly's point, this all needs a transition, man. It needs to go on the field. Who isn't pumped up for NFL football?
Oh, no.
right now?
And I like how he stood up, too, about that timeout that cost him the game. That one's on me.
It.
Yeah.
That one's on me.
Yeah.
That was your other win.
No
That
finger
may
pointing.
got you in there. He took, and I respect that.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's people that hold that one game at Carolina. Yeah, they were on a hell of a run though. To go 8-2 for
They
a team
needed that
that's,
lick, like
that's
you
so
said.
young, it's learning curves, and now you bounce back and you're in this prime position with even more talent. Now you can go further.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of doing
That
it.
shit stung. You like that? No, I don't like that. We just got ass whipped.
Right.
Yep.
After all that winning and then just get stomped on and then have to go to Green Bay, damn well knowing you just watched Seattle win.
And then who
And you
would
could have just said, you know what, man, I'm going to get hurt. I'm going on vacation next week. I'm going to be off for a few months. They went out and kicked the shit out of them. Kirby Joseph picks off Aaron Rodgers 3 times.
We're going to make your last game
back.
memorable. Trust me, in a bad way.
Yeah, good stuff. A lot to look forward to, man. So that about does it for episode 84. We're rolling, boys.
Thank you to our sponsors, our listeners, everybody out there
absolutely.
for all your feedback. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. So as always, email us at fivesoftheweekpodcast@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. Love y'all. Be good.
Peace.
I said goodbye, vamos, adios, ciao, so long, get your hat jack.
Time to turn down the sheets.
And I will spank my butthole a little bit.
That's all, folks.
Bon voyage, motherfucker. Get out of here. Get out.